Welcome everybody to episode 16 of the Baldur's Gate 3 Ranger gameplay live streams. I'm Commander Jorval. Thank you again for joining me today. It is certainly much appreciated, and I hope that you have fun while we're here today. So, just some administrative notes. Again, wanted to apologize for last week's stream, and for those of you who watched it. On YouTube, after the fact, it was split into two parts. YouTube decided after a few minutes of the intro to kind of have an error and pause itself, and it killed the stream right in the middle of it. Thankfully, it wasn't that far in, but I wasn't able to splice both of those together. As yet, I'm still looking at it, seeing if there's a way for me to do it, but I haven't found one yet. So for now, it's going to stay up as two parts. Everybody who's watched them both, I certainly thank you for that. Hopefully today, after battling 2 weeks ago a horrible internet connection, and then last week battling YouTube itself, hopefully this week we'll have an error-free stream, but we'll see how that goes, knock on wood. The other administrative note, also, as I mentioned last week, is that NFL football has started in the United States, so I'm moving my regular stream time from Sunday to Saturday while the season progresses. If we have, or when we have our bye week or an off week during the season, it may move back, or I may just keep it here on Saturday for the length of the season. Just for continuity's sake, we'll kind of play that by ear as we go. But for now, thank you all for joining me on Saturday, as opposed to Sunday. I hope to see you here every week on the new time. So, picking up where we left off last week, we had done a lot of exploration of the Underdark. We had gone into the Decrepit Village, we had cleared that out, we had gone and collected Sussurbark from the Sussurbark tree and fought some hooked horrors and a wizard while we were there. We did go through and as part of our also exploration of the Underdark previously, we had gotten ourselves thrown off a cliff while we were fighting the Bullet. So it's been an interesting adventure here through the Underdark. Two things that we had skipped or kind of bypassed, or taken an alternate path, I guess is a better way to say it, is the petrified Drow that we saw right when we walked into the Selenite outpost. We had talked about it, we had seen them, but we bypassed them to go to the Myconid Colony instead. We're now going to head back that way, and once we've cleared out that area, that's going to open up the way for us to head to the Arcane Tower. The Arcane Tower is a very interesting part of the Underdark, and I'm looking forward to exploring that with you guys. And once that's done, we'll have pretty well finished up in the Underdark, and we can see if we have time to head back to the Decrepit Village and hop on the boat to cross over to the Grimforge, which is the next major area here that we need to progress to. I don't know if we'll get there today or not, but we are definitely going to get into the Petrified Drow and the Arcane Tower today, and we'll see how much time we have left over. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You will see that this is today's date. Off camera, I did clean up my inventory a little bit. Done something that a lot of you were asking me to do for a long time. But just a little cleanup, that's it. Stayed in the same spot and just moved some things around in the inventory while we're here. We're going to start that out, just quickly going over the inventory real quick and seeing where we're at, and seeing if we want to make any other changes to our loadouts. But for now, other than that, that was the only thing that I did right before I started the stream. So here we are back where we were at Blurg. So we're going to take a look here and kind of see where we are. You'll notice a bunch of things missing from my inventory, and that's all of the keys. People have been begging me to get rid of the keys. So I did. I moved them all into my inventory, or into my camp, a chest. There isn't really reason to keep them, but I just don't want to get rid of them. They're an orange item, and because of that, I don't want to get rid of them. Everything else I just cleaned up and moved upward. inside my inventory. So nothing else strange here, just remove those. We did last time change out the Gloves of Power and left the Sparkle Hands in our inventory so we can cast Bane with those. Then what will probably happen is once we've cast Bane with it, we may swap those out if we're continuing to attack a certain creature. It all just depends on how well I want to manage my inventory. Other than that, everything else should be pretty much the same. So we'll go ahead and head back out. We're going to do that by taking the rune circle here back to the Selenite Temple. Okay. So right back here, this leads us right back to this location here, which is then going to give us access out here where we see the petrified Drow all over and dealing with this fight here. So how we're going to progress through this is I'm going to first of all cast actually, let me look and see here. Okay, we still have enough spells to go through this. So I'm going to cast Find Familiar and get my Raven out here. Then I'm going to toggle Group Hide, so everybody's hidden. And then I'm going to break the group apart. Then what I'm going to do is take my Ranger and my Raven down toward the area, and I'm going to move everybody else up kind of into a location over here so I can keep them out of the fight for now, but somewhat close and ready to join it when I need them to. So going to head down here, and you will see that I'm going to get some hide checks as we go along this, because there is something down here watching me. So it doesn't really matter if I get detected or not while I'm doing this. Oh, that was just incredibly dumb. Completely forgot about the torch dock sitting over there, and when I walked by it, it blew up on me. So
need to find a way forward.
So it doesn't matter. I can get my familiar back. Okay. So what I'm going to do, move over here, and I'm going to keep my Raven kind of here in this location. And now what I'm going to do, look through my items, and I have Basilisk Oil here. And I'm going to use this Basilisk Oil on this petrified Drow. And you'll immediately see what's going to happen when I... Okay. All right. That's exactly what we wanted, well, wanted to happen in the best scenario there. We left our Raven out here so that the spectator, which appeared, would immediately go after my Raven and not me. The spectator has a lot of attacks it can do. Only one melee attack, but it can use its eyes to have multiple other attacks that cast different types of rays and that sort of stuff. And you really don't want to be in a situation where you're caught with multiple attacks against you from it. So what using the Basilisk Oil does is it frees Artemis here, and Artemis is on, well, he's temporarily allied with you in fighting for you. The spectator every turn is going to free one of the other petrified Drow here on the map, but they are not going to be allied with you. And you want to take very special, or pay very special attention to Dorn here. Dorn is the key to what happens with these Drow afterward. If you manage to keep one of the Drow alive and you kill Dorn, then if one of them is still allied with you at the end of it, then the rest of them will not be hostile towards you. They won't be very helpful, but they won't be hostile towards you either. If Dorn is still alive, however, they're all going to be hostile no matter what. So you have two kind of focuses here, and that's to take out the Spectator and Dorn, but also try and keep your ally alive here, if you can. So as part of that, what I also have is I have
staying out of sight.
My main characters that are not in the fight here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is see if I can get Lae'zel into a position here. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this, because as soon as I jump down here, that Spectator is probably going to see me when I do it. So let's sneak Lae'zel up here.
Unseen.
And see what her jump can do. Okay. If I move down here, that's as far away as I can really get. This is going to probably cost me some hit points. And I don't know if it's going to trigger me into combat or not. I think it's probably going to. But well, let's go ahead and see what happens when I do this. Yeah. Okay, so it did join me into battle, so... But she's now down in a location, at least, where she can take some attacks that might be meant for other people. So what I'm going to try and do here is try and... I don't know if I'll have enough to be able to reach over there. Let's see if I can reach Dorn. I can. So let's just kill Dorn. Here, this should kill him. Perfect. Okay. Aha! That's now different. Now, if you kill Dorn, they all go hostile. Interesting. Okay. So it's different from a previous playthrough. So they've made some changes to the encounter. So you really just need to focus everything on killing the Spectator instead of killing any of the Drow. So, interesting. Okay. Well, that's not a problem. It just means I'm going to have more Drow loot to be able to collect after I'm done here. So, not a big deal.
Onward.
Okay, so we'll bring Shadowheart out here. And we'll try and cast Guiding Bolt. 75% chance to hit, that's pretty good. Okay, and a 15 hit, so... Alright, so now everybody's in combat. So we're gonna head here, and an easy way to deal with this would simply be to push him off. I'm not going to do that, though. No, I'm not. So the target's too close here. but I might be able to... Yes, I got a 55% chance to ensnaring strike him. That I can get up out of the way. It doesn't really matter since he's ranged, but it'll keep him localized anyway. Okay. So now he's ensnared. And he did take another big hit too, so we should be okay this turn, I think. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so now he's ensnared, and 9 more turns of that. So I can Misty Step away, and see, I'm not going to get attack of opportunity here.
Good idea, I think.
Okay, and then I have an 80% chance to hit here. And I'm going to try a lacerate. Okay. That freed him, I forgot, because ensnaring strike's a concentration. So... Okay, but that did get damage on the spectator then. Now Lae'zel has click heals. These boots are just so useful. So now she's able to get herself all the way up here. Okay. We're going to do a menacing attack. And you could, again, try and push the spectator off. But again, I don't want to do that. Great. Miss. Nice. Love it. 55% chance. Miss. Love every minute of it. Okay, so now the spectator's going to get a turn. Okay, so Shadowheart is still paralyzed. Oops, she made her saving throw, though. So that's good. Gale is paralyzed, though. So we're going to have to try and keep Gale alive, because he's on the front line for everybody over here. So, Artemis is dead. So, let's just go ahead and brace here. Okay, and then we'll take a 55% chance to hit here. Okay. Yes.
Swift and lethal.
All right, we're going to try another menacing attack. Think, yes. Please hit. Oh, you're absolutely killing me. You're just killing me with this. That's 2 attacks with 65% chance that haven't landed. It's horrible. It would probably be dead right now. Okay. So the problem here is that I'm getting to the point where they're just paralyzed and I can't heal them. So Gale might end up going down here. Because even when I release these from Spectator's Charm, they're going to be hostile toward me. And there's not a whole lot I can do here to avoid that, so... Right. Probably gonna attack Gale and probably kill him if I had to guess. Okay, he dashed. So let's see if one more time. Finally. Okay. I want to put myself in a position to be closer to them than Gale, so maybe the attacks will go toward her instead. And she has a much better chance of withstanding these attacks than Gale does. Okay, so now Gale is now free. Okay. Thinking about how to go with this here. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is use a potion of greater healing. Okay. And now I'm looking to see here. %5 chance to hold person. That's probably a good bet. Okay, perfect. So he's held. And now I'm going to move him back out of the way. And then end his turn. And now...
Don't waste a step.
Okay. Now he's under Bane, gonna fail his saving throws. But he's next up. Actually gonna take a potion of healing here. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna try and end Moy here. Outstanding. Okay. Now if I move, I'm not going to generate an attack of opportunity because our CAG is held. So I'm going to move out of the way here. And I'm going to take... Actually, I can... Second wind here. Okay. That gets me some back. Okay. So... Now, can I see... I can from there. So how about we move Shadowheart up a little bit. Still attack from there. Let's see if I can get Oh. A ranged attack will work, but the spell won't. I love it. Is it just that spell, or is it all? Nope. At least she can move up a little bit. Let's try that. Let's try and move up a little bit. And now see if the guiding bolt will work. Nope. Still won't. So... Nope. Nope, just isn't gonna work. So we'll see if we can just get off. Okay. Even though it shows it was in range, it wasn't. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just heal. I can't heal. So all of that movement just wasted everything. So I could cast something else like Bless here. Ah, just a wasted turn. Just messed up. Okay. So... Interesting. See if we can just knock him out. Okay. Perfect. Now, since he's held, we'll just go after him here. And I could use different arrows to do this, but... Oh, he passed his saving throw, so he's no longer held.
Time to strike.
Got one more superiority die left.
This is your end.
Oh.
Let's end this.
I don't know what to tell you. Only a 36% chance to hit there. Only a 36% chance and he hits, but yet you can't hit with 65. Alright.
One wrong move and I'd have been a statue, imprisoned for eternity.
Okay. So, that ends it. It wasn't the fight that I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. Oh. Let's check out the spectator. You're never going to get anything off the spectator, so if you want to do something like a shoving attack and try and push him off, it's perfectly fine. He's never going to have anything on his body or anything like that, so...
Best be on my way.
So now we'll just move everybody down here
Quite.
There's no time to waste.
and get everybody grouped back up. Okay, so we got some things that we can loot down here. So we can look at the Drow. And they're all going to have various weapons and armors on them. So we'll just loot these real quick. Okay, let's group everybody up. And you can go look at
Anything of use?
Isway up here, and we'll start finishing this out.
Never wanted the easy path.
And last is Dorn. Okay, now Dorn's the interesting one here. Get rid of all these other items here. Okay. Now take a look through our inventory. So we picked up two important things there. First, you remember that we had the icy crystal and the icy metal from last time, but we were missing a part. We needed 3 pieces to put it together. Well, the icy helve is that piece. So we'll go ahead and combine all of these together. And now in our inventory we have Morning Frost. It's basically a staff that adds frostbite and cold damage to your spells. So when you're looking at Corlon's Grace, it's basically a melee protection type of item, but it doesn't give you any other benefit to go along with it. We're getting bonuses to our magic missile through psychic missiles here, but this can give us an added extra bonus on top of that. So it's a straight upgrade. You definitely want to use it because it applies to any spell or cantrips as well. So it's just a straight bonus upgrade to any spell that you're going to cast. The other thing we picked up was the Blast Pendant. It allows you to cast Lightning Blast. So what happens is when you use this as as an action, or a bonus action, I mean, if you have lightning charges, then you get additional lightning damage put on top of your existing damage that you're causing. So it lasts for 2 turns, so if you don't have any lightning charges and you get some, then your next attack would then consume all of those lightning charges to cause damage. So it's as opposed to waiting until you have 5 lightning charges and then expending all that damage at once, Lightning Blast allows you to do it at any time that you have them. But you have to cast that as an action while you're doing it. Now, it's an amulet, so if I look at the only person who has lightning, or a way to get lightning charges, the amulet that I'm wearing is the amulet of Misty Step, so I can actually put this on, and if I need to move somewhere with Misty Step, I can put that back on in its place. So kind of an extra bonus damage. If you're like, for now, I don't have any spells to cast Hunter's Mark, so I could use this as a bonus action instead of reapplying Hunter's Mark to, for a couple of turns, get some bonus damage. But you see, it also takes a long rest once you've used it to recuperate it. So, but a good item to have around and to keep around while you're going through it. The other things were simply monetary stuff. Even the memory shard, I haven't found a use for it in the playthrough, but that may change. So, and welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to type them in the chat as we go. So that finishes up the combat with the Spectator and the Drow. You can explore the rest of this area, which is kind of what we're going to take a quick look at. We are going to get rid of these torch stocks as we look around. Okay. We're going to get rid of this last one up here, and we'll start taking a look at what other options we have for movement. So, up here, nothing else you can go. It's just high ground during the fight if you want it. So we're going to bring everybody down here to this level. And we will end up searching Artemis here while we're here. He took a lot of damage during the fight that would have been intended for us, so thank him for doing that. Okay, we do have, don't forget, we have Chasm Creepers that you can see. Just look around for them. Not too hard to spot. And we're going to move everybody kind of out of the way a little bit before you attack this torch stalk. Again, they have a large range that you just don't want to deal with. Okay, so now a couple of areas here. I'm actually going to toggle group mode off here so I don't have people wandering around aimlessly and maybe getting into trouble. So you can search the skeleton here.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Okay, and she noticed that there is a trap in here that you can disarm. You can also, just like other traps that you found, cover them up if you have items to cover them up, and there's an alchemist fire that you can reach to back here. I haven't actually tried to cover it up with a body. That's an interesting thought. Whoops. Okay, so I can't use it to cover up with a body. But if you have something in your inventory, you can go pick up. You could probably go pick up a box or something from up there in the temple and cover these up. But you can also disarm them, just like a trap. So for now, we don't need to look at it. I'm going to head back around down this way, and we can search another skeleton here.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Okay. Now, that notice that underneath this backpack, there's another one of those vents. So if you pick up the backpack, you're going to be triggering this trap. So I'm going to go ahead and disarm this one here. I do have the smuggler's ring on. And that's the perfect roll. Wow, my RNG is just absolutely horrific today. I do have some inspirations, and I don't want that being there. So I'm going to re-roll that. Oh boy. Okay, so now you can deal with the backpack. There's nothing really... nothing really in it except some gold you're going to end up with. Okay, so now you have this large area. We've seen this type of gas cloud before and what it does. What it's really doing is blocking this way down and the way back up if you do it. We have another way to go, however, and that's here, across this way. That's the way we're going to go, so let's go ahead and group everybody back up. It's going to cause an issue. This is going to cause an issue with this when we come back, and you might see that later on, depending upon how far we get through things in the playthrough. But you can just simply jump across to this side. When you're here, everybody's going to join you. And now, again, there's going to be a perception check, so good.
What's that?
Okay, just some more basic stuff for us to pick up. And you can head down this cragged rock to the level down below. Okay, now here I can move right to the very edge, and you can see that I can now jump down to this lower area. The problem is when you're coming back this way, all of your characters can make the jump back up except Gale. Gale doesn't have the strength to jump back up this way. So he's going to have to take the cragged rock to get back up and go through the poison cloud. But for now, everybody can avoid it, because even Gale will be able to jump down to a lower level. So it gets us down here. Like I say, puts us at the bottom of the cragged rock. So you'll recognize this area when we come back. Okay, so I can make my way down here. You see that we have an area with some spider webs here. You can clear those out however you want. kind of make your way back into this area, and we have some items here that we can look at. So holding Alt shows a whole bunch of stuff here that we can search through or pick up. But we'll just start kind of systematically going through this. The chest is locked, so we'll go ahead and lockpick this.
Come on, open up.
We should be able to add on to this guidance. You can see it's got a fairly high DC. And finally I get a roll that I don't even need to utilize any of my bonuses. That's kind of how my RNG's working.
Boxes and spider webs. Guess Lolth's cultists haven't been back
Okay,
here
all
in a
of our
while.
gold is going to Lae'zel to carry. Another basilisk oil. So if you didn't have one from previously, where we picked it up, in the... I think that was in the Necromancer's lair underneath the Blighted Village. If you don't have one from there, you have one here where you can go up and start the encounter with the spectator. Drow studded leather is always nice, and we can read this. Basically is telling you that they were a disciple of Lolth, the spider god. And send that to Gale like we normally do. And we do have another book over here which we can read. Again, Lolth is the Drow god, the spider god. You can read through more of all of that here, but that also gets us an inspiration back. That inspiration that we had to utilize earlier. Now we finally get that back. Wish I didn't have to use it in the first place. And the rest of these are spider cocoons that you can pick up or you can search. And again, I search everything. Just part of me being who I am as we go through them. So, you also want to look and see. Don't forget Chasm Creeper over here. Another one over here. Okay. Now we get down here into this area, and we have another cragged rock to be able to move down. You can see down here in this area we get more torch stalks, and we're all familiar with what they do. So I'm going to toggle my group and kind of move myself up to the edge. And I'm going to take out as many of these as I can. So that I can move the group safely down to the lower level. Okay. Should be good enough to get everybody there. And the reason I break the group is just because as you move, people tend to walk into strange locations. So you don't want them moving around you or trying to position themselves in some formation around you and stepping in the wrong location. Okay, so down here you can see we do have some camp supplies that we can pick up.
Something's burrowed in there. Something big.
Okay. And you can see that we do have another way to get down to the decrepit village where we were earlier. This is that same path that we saw from down below. That allows you to get up here not having to go through the spectator fight or dealing with the Drow. But for me, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to head back this way. I'm going to break the group again. Do I have a short rest? I do not. Okay. So here, I'll move up to the edge. Can't take it out from there. I can from there, so we're going to take out the torch stalk over here. It caused a lot of damage to a bunch of other things down here. But you can jump over into this location. There's a skeleton over here that has the helmet of Autonomy in it. Okay. Also some other items that you can pick up to sell later on if you want. They're not that big a deal. So I'm not going to worry about them. And then you can simply jump back. And get yourself back up here and group back up. Okay, so don't forget to do that little side area there. Now, up here, this heads towards the Arcane Tower. You can see that's the direction it would be going on the map. We're going to head over this way first. Okay.
A perfect ring of mushrooms. Pretty, but it doesn't do much.
Okay. Move myself back out here. Take out this torch stalk. Now you see we have a dead drow over here.
The injuries on this drow are consistent with a fall. A very deep fall.
Okay, so now they're giving you some hints here. They're telling you that the drow died due to a long fall. So we do have some stuff on their body that we can pick up. And then we can search the drow itself. And we've got a journal here that we can read. Okay. Okay, so it's talking about a yokel here. Okay. Go ahead and clean up the inventory here a little bit. We're gonna split this 5 and 5. Don't need to carry that many poisons. And I'll go there. Clean out our inventory with all of these items that can go to camp. And this, which can go over to Lae'zel. This can go to Gale. So can that, and now we're left with drow-studded leather armor. It's one of the best light armors that you can come up with. It's just a great armor to have. So for if you're carrying Will or Astarion in your party, this is one of the best things for them, especially for Astarion. It gives +1 to stealth as well. So it's going to end up going to one of those two. I'll just need to look and see who's going to get it. The Helmet of Autonomy gives you proficiency in wisdom saving throws, which can be very useful when you go into certain types of fights, especially against enemies that want to mind control you. But again, you have to have it equipped with that fight. So looking at some of the other things, the lower wisdoms that we have, let's look at our character sheets here. So Lae'zel has a 12. Nobody has a horrible wisdom here. Nobody's using wisdom as a dump stat. Gale has the least, but having Scorching Ray available to us is a good thing. Once it's used, though, it may be he can't wear. Yeah, he can't wear. Oh, he can wear. It's just, yeah, it's light armor. He can't wear it. But Lae'zel could, up until the point where she gets below 50% hit points. And then once she gets below 50 hit points, she can put on the Helmet of Grit and get an additional bonus action out of it. So that might be a decent way to go about utilizing it. Otherwise, it's going to go to somebody who would wear light armor. Doing it. I need to move a couple of these things around. Yep. Okay. So now the drow died from a great height. Why? You can see that we have a Sylvan Stone, but we also have some mushrooms here. Okay.
Let's get going.
So I'm gonna break my group. Okay, and you can.
I think I found something.
Okay, and you can see that that one disappeared. Okay, that means it's a fake, it's an illusion mushroom. Okay, so if you can pass your perception checks, then you might be able to tell which ones of these mushrooms are safe to jump to and which ones are not, because the ones that are not will disappear once you land on them, and you'll take fall damage, which is what happened previously. So we know it's safe to jump up here. Okay, and failed the investigation there. So what I am going to do is put my circlet on, and almost anybody can jump up here to this one. So I'm going to try and figure out which of these two is... Okay, so that one was the fake one. Right?
Charmed, I'm sure.
So now I can jump back up here, and I can jump over to this mushroom.
Glad that caught my eye.
Okay, so that one is the fake one. Now I can jump up to here.
Think I found something.
Okay, so both of those were fake. So now I have the pathway this way. I'm going to go back down to Gale here and have him pick up the Sylvan Stone.
What to do?
Okay, and then that looks remarkably like a way to climb up, but you can't.
All's well
Just
that
looks like it.
ends. Not as bad as
Okay,
it
so
could
now I
have.
can jump to here. I can jump to here. And I can finally jump up here to the top. Okay. Now that I'm up here, you see there's a mushroom circle. Okay. So I'm going to go over and click on it. Okay, I failed my investigation check, but it doesn't matter. He now looks down where I was and sees that the mushroom circle down below has activated. So when I stepped on it, it took me down here, and now this mushroom circle is activated. So I can grab my group up, I can click on the mushroom circle, and it teleports you.
Something hidden, but not from me.
Okay, so Gale passed his investigation check to know that there's something up here, but you would also know that from looking around at your mini-map. So I am going to go and have Gale collect this Sylvan Stone here.
Might as well.
And he can do that just by leaning over the edge and grabbing it. Okay, we have another Sylvan Stone here that he can grab.
Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it.
Okay.
Moving ahead.
Now we can take a look around this area here and know that we have a way that we can progress through here.
Another illusion. Is
Okay.
anything real down here?
Now I'm standing in the illusion wall, so your vision goes all wonky. Okay. Now you can look around. There's another Sylvan Stone over here.
Nearest library.
I'll get Gale to pick it up. And another one on this
This'll come
side.
in handy.
Okay. Now, going around in this area, there's nothing to see, but there is another mushroom circle that you can look at. And we're going to go ahead and, while we're at it, been a while since we saved. In case something happens, got something to come back to, and we're going to go here. Okay. Puts us up here in a different location on the map. Basically a new area for us to explore here. Hold down, you've got a skull over here, so just looking around, we can
Moving in.
go over here. Bones to search. Nothing. Okay, there are some
Maybe I need more pockets.
food items over here. Okay. And we do have a another one of those kind of tree doors that we've run into before, so to speak. Shows locked, but you can't lockpick it. Lockpicking's impossible. Certainly looks like the... yes. Yes, this way is where we've been before. Sorry, it took me a second to recognize that. This is where we had the fight with the hag. If you follow your way up here, jump across here, this is where we were earlier and said that we could get in here. This is a way for you to, the third way for you to enter the Underdark. Is to enter in this way and then take this mushroom circle here. Pass your investigation check to walk through the invisible wall here. And then take this mushroom circle to take you down to the ground over there. And now you're in the Underdark as well. So, like I say, just that third way to get you into the Underdark. Okay. So now we are basically ready to head into the Arcane Tower, but I'm going to take a long rest before I do that. Because I don't have any short rests left and I need to get some spells back. Not necessarily for the Arcane Tower. Actually, you know, that's a good point. What do I have left here?
Lost in
All my second levels are gone.
Eager for battle. There is work to do.
Not many are gone here.
Direct me.
Gale's used both of these.
Laggets will be done.
Still breathing.
Yeah, I've got plenty of
despite
camp
everything.
supplies. Let's just go ahead and take a long rest. Okay.
Very well.
There's nothing special in talking to anybody in here, and I'm not going to bother going through and equipping the new armors and that sort of stuff that I have available for them. So now it's just a question of finding the traveler's box. There it is.
What's hiding here?
Okay, so 1, 2, 8 plus 12 is 20. Going to keep all of these, and one of these will give me 40. Okay, so just a quick long rest. Yes. Got those. We're still in my inventory. Okay, that instead. We'll put those two, we'll send those two to camp here in a minute. Forgot about those. Okay, I am going to send those camp. And I don't think... No, Lae'zel can't carry it, so I'm going to move this over here. And now, whoops. Need to put this back on Lae'zel. She needs to then cast protection from evil and good on herself. And I can replace that again. And change back to invisibility. And just making sure, I think that's all I want to do. Okay. Yeah, actually, I keep this on until I drop below 25% of my hit points to put this on place. Okay. And yeah, that will, as I take damage, the Helmet of Autonomy will get replaced with this. And I think that's all good. Okay.
No one back home will ever believe
So now,
this.
let's get ready to deal with the Arcane Tower. So we're going to move only up to this spot. Okay. I'm going to toggle group hide, and I'm going to split the group. Can't.
Scorched ground. Better watch out.
Okay. Can't see it. There you can. Okay. So now you can see
Keep going.
that there's a detection cone and there's an arcane turret out here. So we want to have Jorvalen with as much concealment as we can, and to do that I can become invisible to do this. There's no reason not to. I'm going to take another rest, long rest, so we can go out of hiding. Actually, we don't need to. We can just go invisible here. Okay. And now we can just walk
Don't slow
around.
down.
What we want to do is bypass all of these turrets and get over here to this back area. Okay, and we want to jump across to here. You can follow these mushrooms down. You can jump over here. Follow these mushrooms down. And do the same thing. Okay. You get down to this area. Now, this is a point of no return for everybody except for Lae'zel. They don't have the jump to be able to get back up. Okay. And if you fail your saving throw, you're going to become visible again. But it doesn't matter at this point. The invisibility was just to get us past the arcane turrets. Okay, you're going to get a perception check here.
Something over there.
There is, and it's hard to find it with your mouse. But if you hold Alt, it'll show up. There's a hole here. You click on it, nothing happens. However, for a druid, you can shift your shape into something small, like a rat, squirrel, mouse. I'm not entirely sure what all the available shape-shifting abilities are for the druid. And you can use that hole to get into this area back here where we're going to go. But for me, there's nothing I can do with it. It doesn't allow me to get anywhere. Okay, so I can get down here to the bottom. There is some laculite I can pick up. Nothing on Alt walking around out here. Just another way to get up. You can't move any farther down than this. Okay. And as you walk through here, you're going to get another perception check. We can come up to this door. This door is locked. Okay, I'll come back to it, though, here in a second. Okay, and you see we have some susser blooms down here. You're going to want to pick up one of these. There's a specific reason for it that you are going to need here in a second. But as we go around here, you get a perception check. Okay.
That might be worth a look.
There's a dirt mound here. You can come back to this area with your full party, so it's not like if you miss it with your main character, you don't have any other choice. The fact that you get Autumn Crocus bundles here is fairly important. We did something earlier on in the playthrough that now I realize what it was for, and we'll come back to this. But having an Autumn Crocus bundle available to you here is kind of a hint about something. So we're going to pick one of these up. Okay, that's...
Seems that book on Flumps was not all it appeared to be.
So inside of your... Don't have it. I think I sent it to the camp. Yeah. The book on the mating habits of flumps is actually disguised by magic. So when you walk into a susser field or you pick up a susser bloom, that magic is broken and it turns into a different book in your inventory so you can read it. But it's not important to us now. For now, we come upon this door, and for me, the only option is to lockpick it. It does have a high DC. I've got a total +6 bonus here. I've got 6 thieves tools, so I'm going to be able to do it. Otherwise, I could put the amulet on to give me guidance as well, but I don't think we're going to need it. And we don't. Okay, so now you can walk here. And you're inside the Arcane Tower now. Okay. See, this is the lever that opens that door. And you'll see that there's another way in here as we explore this area. So, important thing about the Arcane Tower is you're going to find a lot of books that you can look at and read in here. You definitely want to do that. Okay, there are various secrets hidden inside these books, which are going to give you a clue as to how to proceed. And I failed a perception check, but right here is where that hole comes out, that tube comes out right here in this location. So if you come through here as a druid, you're going to automatically find it because you came through it, and then you can just open the lever and walk out the door. If you did take another measure to get into the Arcane Tower, like coming in through the front door, then you can use that to get out if you find it, but you could also just walk over here and flip the lever. Oh. Now we have a few more things that we can search. Okay, some more camp supplies. Come up here to this upper area. Okay, we can search some bottle racks. Okay, and now we have a book here. Okay. So this book isn't one of the books that you need to read, except what it does tell you is that they've been using the susser tree flowers as a power source. Okay, and that's what's important to get out of that book. It leads you into what you're going to do here. So there's a bunch of scrolls in here, and this book is not one of the special ones either. Okay, now you come into this area, and you see that there are some withered blue petals on the ground. The blue petals are from susser flowers. So this is your power generator. So what you do is you interact with it. It's going to allow you to put an item in here. And you want to put your susser bloom in there. Okay, pretty cool cutscene to watch there. So you saw a few things. One, it powered up a piece of machinery, it looked like, that we haven't seen yet. But it also turned off all of the arcane turrets. So you can either choose to fight the arcane turrets, you can get yourself into positions where they can't see you. And kind of move out, take shots, move back so that they can't see you, or get yourself into positions where even if they fire at you, they can't hit you. So you can fight them the normal way, or you can just bypass them and send a character down this way. Somebody who can pick through a door, and deactivate them this way. And then you can make your way up and rejoin the rest of your party here fairly quickly. So we do have some things we can loot here. There's a gilded chest here. Okay, gives me Uncovered Mysteries, which is a great little amulet for being able to cast Detect Thoughts. So if you look at it, you can use Detect Thoughts, lasts until long rest, but it is a concentration spell. So if you change your concentration, say to Hunter's Mark, that's going to go away. So if you get into a position where you're going to be dealing with NPCs again, then casting this before you like walk into a village or something like that, it's a very useful item to have available to you. And we're going to move some of these things around. Okay. And now you can see here that we have something, and there's a button that says Ascend. Basically an elevator. If you come up here before putting a susser bloom into this, this will not be active. This button won't be here. And you won't be able to progress anywhere. Okay, so even if you do come in through the front door, so to speak, you're going to have to make your way down here to this area to deal with powering that up, and basically it's going to hurt. Okay, so now we've looted everything here. So we can come around this way and click the button to ascend. See, it takes you straight up. Okay? Takes you up to a different level. Now, to get down to the previous level where you are, and you can see that there are different ways to maneuver around the outside of this. Okay? But there are areas out here you can see on your mini map that if you get out here, you can jump down these locations and move your way the same way around that we did previously to get down to the basement. It's just you're going to take a bunch of damage falling that far, unless you have obviously Featherfall or something like that to help mitigate that damage. Okay, so you can do this by coming in the front door and then kind of parkouring yourself around the outside. It's just really, there are much easier ways to go about doing this. Okay? So, got some burlap sacks. You don't normally find anything in these, I don't think. Then you can open up the doors and go out onto the balconies. And you see, these give you opportunities to get down to different locations. So again, all the way down here, bad news. Again, Misty Step or Featherfall and that sort of stuff can get you down there. Okay? It's just not something that you really want to be dealing with. But that's the way to get yourself down there to power the elevator if you didn't come in the way that I did. Okay? So we'll just do some looting here and some looking around. Okay, now we have a threadbare book here, and this is one that you want to read. Okay. How can I trust? How will I ever know? How can I show myself my darkest me? This is... You want to be able to read these books because they give you clues to solve a puzzle.
Was quite the literary type.
Later on, and you're going to see little interactions like that that tells you that that was an important book to have read as you go through this. Okay. Again, another ornate door. Okay, and again, you can see what I'm talking about. This open balcony gives you a way to get down to here and follow the same path that we did getting here. So, if you don't power it, you can still move around the Arcane Tower. You're just going to be limited in what you can and can't do. Okay. Now, here we have Tongue of Madness. You remember, that was one of the 2 mushrooms that Omelum needed us to find to help investigate the parasite. Okay? There are multiple ones in here. You don't have to pick up more than just one. Because these, I don't think, are the worrisome ones. Yeah, these, I mean, they weigh a pound, so they are somewhat heavy. But you don't need to carry around a bunch of stuff in your inventory that you don't need. Nothing on alt here. Head out the door. Okay, in the last area here, Timask spores. Okay. So now if we look at our journal, we found the 2 things that we needed. To help, he requires Tongue of Madness and some Timask spores. Okay. So now we have them both, so we can head back. So just also finish some of these out. We finished the Dwargar intruders when we cleared out the decrepit village. The Sovereign also wants us to kill Nair, and we did find Balin. We finished all that last time. We got the quest there also from Thula when we healed her with the anti-poison to find the Grimforge gnomes and save them. And this was the quest where we got that by curing Thula. Oh. Now our journal's all cleared out again. Okay, and again, you don't need more than 1 Timask spore. Okay, and now we can ascend again, and you can see the Arcane Tower's got an arrow pointing up. So the main entrance is still above us. And now when you look at it, it's disappeared, so the main entrance is here, on the same level that we are. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and open up back doors. You can see there's an arcane turret here, which has been turned off. an arcane cannon, actually, which is different from the turret. These cause more damage. They do an explosion in a radius. Did I pick up another... Whoops, not that. Go to camp. Okay, yeah, I thought I did. Don't need the bottles. I did pick up another potion of hill giant strength. Yep. May end up changing, splitting those and seeing how many Lae'zel has going that way. And here, we can jump in and out of here. So, coming in the front door, if you don't have a way to get in here, you can jump in here, but you're going to be right in range of the arcane cannon here. Okay, so it's your way in, but again, you've got to fight on your hands in doing it. It's much easier just to bypass it by going around directly to the basement like I did. Okay, we've got broken machinery in here. I have not found a use in the playthrough for the broken machinery yet. If somebody knows something about it, please let me know. I'm going to leave it where it is now. But there are various different types of it. That you can kind of see looks kind of like an arm piece or a leg piece maybe. There are some other things that look like a body piece. So yeah, see there's some cogs here and that sort of stuff. So maybe at some point there might be an assembly of an automaton type thing that you can do. It's not implemented yet that I can find in the playthrough. But who knows? But if you know something, let me know. You see we got a dusty book over here. It's part of a play. Okay. And again, it gives you a hint about what's happening. So when you say there's a light in every living thing, it's crawling towards the surface to survive, and in its wake it tramples everything. We'll kill the rest so that one can thrive. So some violence happening here with what it's talking about, and it's all. You don't have to pick these up. I do with almost every book just so I can sell them. Again, another arcane cannon back here in the corner. But they're giving you clues as to what's going on, and now you walk out here and you've got a chest of the mundane. I did pass my Arcana check. Whoops. I did pass my Arcana check, so I can see that there's something magical about it. So I look in it, and I've got a couple of... I got some mugs. Okay, well, let's just take one.
Wait, did that just transform?
Okay. So now if I go down and look at my inventory, I got Mistress Grace out of that. This chest is... It takes anything that you put in it, and it makes it look like something mundane, like a cup or a mug or something. But it's actually not. And Mistress Grace with Featherfall, like I was saying earlier, is exactly what you would need to kind of navigate your way around this tower if you didn't go around the back to do it already, to power it up. So looking inside this chest on the first floor here is a great way to pick up some stuff that you're going to need to help you go around the tower. So there was a scroll in there also, and I'm just doing these one at a time so you can see everything that gets pulled out of here. And a scroll of Shield of Faith. Okay, but Mistress Grace is what's important there. A very valuable item for progressing through this area in general. Okay. So now
Don't waste a step.
I can head back out to the front. You see there's a lever here. I don't have to pick my way through the ornate door. I can just use the lever and open it up. Okay. You do get some XP for opening that door. Now I can just head out and head all the way back and group up with the rest of my party. And I can explore this outside area here. Okay, so toggle everybody back together.
Time to skulk about.
Now let's go exploring this area
Don't
so I
mind
can
if I
pick
do.
up some items, search for some things.
With haste.
Okay, so we're going to go around this side. Okay, this is another way to get up here to this upper level onto the porch, so to
What's in
speak,
here?
to kind of help you avoid some of the arcane turrets that are out here. Around this way, just holding alt, just checking alt periodically as I move. Okay, and get up here to this area. There's a chest here. I'm gonna move up to it. Doesn't appear to be trapped. I'm just gonna
Don't give
lockpick
me
it.
trouble now.
Yeah, I can add in the guidance bonus. It does have a 15 DC. Perfect. Okay, and this gives us Skybreaker. Skybreaker's interesting. That's what I'll say. So, looking at Skybreaker here, you can see it's basically a light hammer +1, which means it only does 1d4 +1. I'm getting an extra because of my proficiency. But it has Searing Smite. Okay, now what Searing Smite does is you cast it on, or you cast it as a spell, and it lasts for 10 turns, and this hammer will then do an additional 1d6 of fire damage. Okay, so it also, if you hit somebody with, well, I'm sorry, not for 10 turns. You cast it on your weapon. If you hit with it, then it causes the Searing Smite effect on whoever you hit it with, and for every 10 turns, every turn they have to make a Constitution saving throw, or they're going to take additional fire damage. Okay, so using Skybreaker to cause damage itself isn't the greatest thing, but being able to cast Searing Smite on any person within 3 meters around you, to have them have this attached to their weapon, can be a pretty big deal. Okay, so, and I can even keep that in my inventory. It's a light weapon, so with 2 light weapons, one of them finesse, I can have these dual wielded like this, and I can now have access to the Searing Smite spell to be able to cast, and you'll kind of see how it works, but it's really not all that great. We'll just do this kind of as an explanation of it, but it's really not that great a deal. It's really good when you can hit with it and then change to something else, basically. And then they have to keep saving against fire damage, is basically what it is. So, okay, we also have some other items over here on the table. So we can read this letter. It talks about Lenore, and Lenore's love that she was in. Then we have some bronze ingots and a light hammer. And send those items to other people. Okay, and we have another, we have another bronze ingot over here. There is a campfire down here that you can utilize. Okay. Now again, just looking through the outside area here, holding Alt as you go.
That's curious.
Another bullywug trumpet over here. To say I did pass that. So there is another dirt mound over here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I got them both. Game glitch or something there, which reminds me I am going to save. Okay. And then you can get up here on this side where we were, this upper porch, which you can use to jump up here, and there is some bones you can search. Just for an extra gold piece. Nothing much. And then that's obviously the way that we were looking at previously. Okay, so now we can head into the Arcane Tower and we can head up again.
Here we go.
And who's encumbered? Lae'zel's encumbered. Not a problem. Okay, so now we're getting up to a point in the tower. You can see down below things are getting a little more broken up here. Okay, this is not one of the specialty books. Actually, is it? I don't think it is. Okay, so we do have a plate here that's worth some. Shelf that normally doesn't have anything on it.
Speak.
Got in the way. Okay. Come around this way and head around and search over here. Now you're going to find a lot of books and stuff like that to search over here. A lot of these are just going to be the normal books that we've already found, like this. So you don't have to read all of these. You're looking for books that deal with the play that was being written. Okay, so do the gray here. This is just a mining chant. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to word that. Just a mining chant. Wasn't one of the books that you need. Same thing as this. Not one of the books that you need to read to gain clues to the puzzle. Okay. Now we're going to start finding quite a few other books. And these are all normal books that we're used to seeing. So they're not part of the special ones. However, you can see here, this play tells the epic tragedy. These are the ones you need to read. Okay? How do I know? How would I know? You can read through this. And it's, like I say, it's going to give you clues about what we deal with here in a minute. Okay, there's also a handwritten letter more about Lenore, and looks like another person. This wasn't the same, but this also gives you some clues about what we needed to deal with earlier. You remember we came upon a grave out there that was Myrna's grave, right? We actually have in our inventory Myrna's locket that we got from that grave. Myrna was actually a pet dog, okay? And if you have autumn crocus flowers in your inventory, when you click on that, something different is going to happen. You're going to be able to get an item out of it, because you didn't dig up the grave like we did. So that's, I didn't realize that when I went through the playthrough earlier, when we got to it and we dug up the grave. It's just one of those things, something I won't be able to do. But yeah, it gives you a little clue as to if you found the grave, you didn't disturb it, now you know to take autumn crocus flowers over there, and it gave you a bundle of autumn crocus, which we've sent to the camp, but it gave you one downstairs. So it gives you all the items you need to go over there and complete that section of the quest, so to speak. We do have another torn out paper here, which you can read. Okay, the silence stretches on. I'm all alone. Can I please hold your hands? Again, these are all things that will make sense once we get a little bit further through this. Okay, we do have a landscape over here, which Gale can pick up. Okay, we have a wardrobe here. Got a nice silver glass in it. And now we have a button here. We have a bowl, and we have a bone, and what looks like a bed. Looks like where a dog would rest. Okay, so we do have a dog collar here. We put that dog collar on, and now we go push the button.
Clever. Food is dispensed for anyone wearing this collar.
It gives you raw steak. In other words, this is what would happen with the dog. The dog got a special collar. It's an automatic feeder. This is basically what it is. Kind of a cool little thing. So if you did dig up the grave like we did, just kind of a cool little, interesting side note to this. Clean up some of my inventory here. Okay. Okay, we have Mage's Friend. Whoops. That we picked up. It's a ring. Basically +1 to Arcana and to Religion. No reason not to give it to Gale. He's got an empty ring slot. Could give it to Shadowheart as well. Doesn't really matter either way that you go about it. Cool. Gives you a bonus if you're using those characters to do any ability checks and that sort of stuff. Okay, we have some other items up here. Hello world. That is what it's for.
I spy with my little eye. Nothing of note, really.
So you saw that last time we interacted with the telescope, we were able to move it around and look at different things. That's not the case with this one. So now we can, again, head upward.
New sounds to the Underdark oppression brain. Is it the foe? That foul, contemptuous heel?
You know these words. They're from the opening stanza of a play you found in this very tower.
Okay. So if you didn't find the book, you would not know that this is the one that you need to pick. You would have to pick from these and find out which ones might be, or you would have these other ways to go here through your options. But because we did find that book, we know that we can answer with this one.
Come out of love for me, not love for blood and steel. Come on as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
Okay, so now you can give commands to him, and the commands are all based upon what you read in the book earlier. Okay, so we have 3 different lines here to choose from as commands. We can also ask some questions, and we're going to go ahead and ask those questions.
An unbeknownst command that I cannot fulfill.
Okay,
An unbeknownst command that I cannot fulfill.
what's happening here is that it only responds to these commands here. Okay, so it's just like a robot. You have to give it an input that it is programmed to respond to. Each one of these things will do different things depending upon which one you ask, but each one of those things you already got a clue to. So when you read there is a light in every living thing, it's crawling towards the surface to survive, what happened in that story? Well, it said it killed everything that came after. This is going to trigger everybody in the room to attack you. Okay? So how can I trust? How will I ever know? How can I show myself my darkest me? That said that the light would then reveal the darkness.
If you do not know the deepest secret show, reveal the truth. Give what you wish to see.
Okay? And in doing so, he's saying that it's going to reveal your deepest secrets and give that which you wish to see. So he's walking over to the table over here, and he's going to drop something down on the table. Now while he's doing that, you're going to see that we have some animated armors around here. Basically, robots that are animated that don't do anything until this whole thing becomes hostile. And then they join up to fight against you. So what was dropped over here was guiding light. So we can read the patched parchment here. Okay. So, gives you something else to remember here. It's a small poem. Okay, but what's interesting for us is, and see there's more broken machinery up here. Again, haven't found a use for it. Okay, all over the place. This is a different type of broken machinery. So I think they might be holding on to this for something else to do in the future. But guiding light is here. Okay, now guiding light is a basic ring, but it's also orange. So it's a ring that you can wear that gives you the light cantrip. So just from that standpoint, giving it to Shadowheart, you know, to be able to cast light as a cantrip, you know, probably a good thing. However, if you wear it, I put it on? Yes, I did.
My ring lit up. Must have been linked to that button.
Okay. Wearing the ring, it causes an additional button to appear, which takes you to the secret basement. Okay. So that ring is needed to be able to get down to a different level than where you were. And see, as soon as you take it off, the button's no longer there. Right? Now you can talk to Bernard again.
Come on as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
And you see there's 3 items left here for you to do. There were only previously 3 items, but now there are 3 items. Again, one of them disappeared, but it was replaced by another one that you got by reading that piece of parchment on the table. So now you can click this one.
I'll humble to them. This all that I can do. I I've never been that brave.
Okay. And he gave you a scroll of prayer of healing. Okay, and that's what it's important to read all of those different things, because the commands that you're able to give Bernard are not made available until you read those various things. Okay, so now we should have 2 command options left. One of them we think is going to cause an attack. So what does the other one do? Please, can I hold your hands for just a while?
Of course, my love. Don't be afraid, sweet girl. What can I do? Would you like a hug? A hug? Come here. For just a moment. Let it out.
His arms are too tight and too low for a comfortable hug, as if he's meant to be embracing someone slightly shorter.
Remember, you are loved little so much. You're doing great. And everyone will be so proud of you. As I already am.
Interesting. So, programmed an automaton to help her feel better about herself. So, you can also, you've seen pieces of it, you can also tell that there's a very interesting looking weapon on Bernard's back here. And there used to be an easy way to cheese this, and that was to knock Bernard out of this window. I don't know if you can still do that.
Action, not reaction.
What happens if I do a pushing attack? Ah! So it will still work. Okay. So the pushing attack is going to knock Bernard all the way down here to the bottom. And that's probably going to kill him. Just making sure it's not going to put him out of reach. Because I actually haven't done this. But I think I might. Okay. So once you attack Bernard, he's going to go hostile. But let's see if we can get people into other locations. And we do want to bring out our Raven again. Interesting. I moved my Raven down here to this end. Strange. Okay. I'm going to hide and hide. Then I can take Gale.
Right away.
Put Gale up here. And hide him as well.
We'll get dirty.
I can take Shadowheart. I'm going to move her over here. Put her around the corner. And tell her to hide. Because as soon as I trigger this, I think everybody's going to come after Lae'zel. If this pushing attack works to begin with. If it doesn't, it's still a bunch of damage. But for now, we'll go ahead and try and cheese this by knocking him out of the window. Okay, there's only a 45% chance to do it, but maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, we did. Knocked him all the way down there. You can see it knocked him all the way down to 18 hit points left. Right? And now what we have to do is deal with the animated armors here. And she actually rolled really well on her initiative. So I'm going to click heals. I'm going to run over here.
Make way.
That was kind of weird. Is she encumbered? Oh. She is encumbered. How did she get encumbered? Okay. And now here, I'm just going to go ahead and use another attack here. Wow. Nice critical hit. Worked out well. Wish I'd have known, because I'd have tucked her into this corner to try and get her out of the line of fire. Okay. So next is this animated armor over here. Okay, so let's see if we can get some other people into the fight here. Okay, so can walk up to the edge and cast Hunter's Mark.
Right.
Let's go ahead and do that and get her into the fight. Okay. And my Raven. I don't think that my Raven can blind them. I haven't actually tried it, but we'll get them in a position where one of these two might waste a shot on the Raven instead. Okay. And now we're going to leave Gale actually hidden. And see what options we have here. Okay, so we can cast here. Just checking to see if I have any other options. I probably have, yeah, some scrolls to do the same thing. Okay. Oh, wow. Actually, she cast that and didn't get into combat. So I'll choose this. Right. Okay, so head back and... Okay. So that put her into battle. He's still there left. I guess I can get Gale involved here just to kill him.
Quite.
Because I can cast Magic Missile, and I think I have that on a roll. I do. Cast one here. Two more down here. Okay. That killed them. Got some damage down here as well, so head back. And now I can just end my turn. I don't need to use Action Surge here on this at this point, but it actually doesn't matter. No, we don't need to do it yet. Okay, so good. That one went after the Raven. This one, who are they going to shoot? Okay, good. Bernard's trying to get back up here. He's just got a long way to go. Okay. So now what I can do is dash again. No reason not to have dash active. I'm gonna move to this side. I can get a kill here. Perfect. Now I can use the rest of my movement to get in a position where hopefully this attack comes after her, if he's not dead.
Focus. On the move.
I didn't expect that to hit, but nothing big.
Death is but a word away.
Think this is out of range. Oh no, it can still possibly hit. Okay.
No choice but to keep going.
Here I can reapply Hunter's Mark. Take another ranged attack. Okay, did a real good amount of damage. Not enough to kill though. Missed again. Good. Okay, that's bad. I didn't want him to do that. But it's not gonna matter at the end of the day, and I'll tell you why here in a second.
No time to waste.
Okay, we should be able to get a kill here. Perfect.
Ready. Time to deal some punishment.
Alright. So now, the combat's still in. Bernard is going to be trying to make his way up here. And we want to be kind of prepared for that. Okay. So, I'm just going to kind of leave everybody in the positions that they're in. Except I can hide them again.
Well, so much for peace. This calls for careful footwork.
You can see he's walking around to take the elevator up here.
Taking position.
Okay, and then I want to hide. Now everybody's hidden except for Lae'zel. Okay. That was a mistake on my part. I should have dashed her and put her up here. So yeah, that was a mistake on my part. But what I can do I can't remember if this is going to continue to cause me damage or not. No, it's not. So I can get out of his aura field and just get into a position where I can take a shot at him. Okay, and that was a miss. Going to action surge here and try and take another one, but I'll wait on that. So now we'll change to Shadowheart. She's inside of his field as well. But let's see what options we have. So 55%. 55% again to hit here. Okay. She took supercharge damage. He's got that static discharge going. So it was going to happen. Nothing you can do about it.
Take you.
Okay, but she can now move to get out of the way.
Heading there.
Okay. Don't want her to go in yet.
Meet sorcery.
So Gale should be able to end this, but let's actually go with a ranger first. She has more hit points. Okay, reapplying Hunter's Mark won't do anything. Critical hit. Perfect. I didn't expect him actually to
Wizard, not a cat bird.
to do the static discharge. It's always an option. It's just one of those low percentage options you don't see him do often,
Shall be done.
Indolence breeds madness.
but
No time
always
to rest.
possible.
Let's try this way.
Okay, so I'm going to get everybody
Can't
grouped
give
back up.
now.
Do a short rest. Get the hit points back. Now you can do some searching. All of the animated armors are going to have the same things. They're all going to have a heavy crossbow, which I'm not going to be able to pick up by anybody if I want to move around because everybody's
deep
at that
and move.
point. But Bernard is the important one. Okay? Because of the light of creation. Now, it's a very interesting weapon. So if you're attacking a construct, then it's a halberd with 1d6 lightning damage, and it does 1d10 plus 2 slashing damage for me. The problem with it is that if you're not a construct, it has a chance to stun you when you're attacking a non-construct with it. So that can obviously be quite bad. Unless you're attacking something that is weak to lightning damage, and you need to have that option for extra damage. The other thing about it is that if you're attacking a construct, then it can be a very, very good weapon to use. And the reason for that is, if you look at the Everburn blade, it's 4 to 17. It's 2d6 plus 1 slashing damage. So, and then plus 1d4 fire damage. This is more. It's 4 to 18 versus 4 to 17. So it has a higher upside. And if you're attacking a construct with it, it can do more damage. So this is another great backup weapon if you ever get into fights with a construct. Now, constructs so far have been fairly rare in the playthrough. But again, if you run up against a construct, it's a great weapon to have in your inventory to swap over to at some point. Okay? So, good thing to keep around, just not very useful at this exact moment. Okay? So, now what I need to do is put guiding light on. Come down this way and head to the basement. Okay, now that I'm down here, I can take guiding light off. Okay. And I can go back to the top floor or just ascend up. Ascend up takes you up to the level that we started this on, which has the power plant on it. But while we're here, you can search around. You have some bookshelves, and every one of these bookshelves is just going to have a bunch of scrolls on it. So, going to send all of these to Gale for the most part. Okay, there are some more Timask spores over here, but you got one set, you don't need any more. There's another basilisk oil here on the counter. There's a reason I'm giving these all to Gale. Because again, I'm going to go through and see if Gale can learn any of these. And there are no special scrolls down here. Actually, I forgot something, which I'm going to have to go back up to the top floor for.
Seems simple enough.
That's over here. Can't believe I almost forgot it. But yeah, all the animated armors all just have a heavy crossbow. But you can walk back into this area here, and there's a stool on the ground, and if you look at it, it says Stool of Hill Giant Strength. Well, that's interesting. When you can take this stool, you can put it upright, you can sit on it.
What's this feeling of power?
Okay, and it gave you Hill Giant's Might. Okay, and... okay, interesting. So it doesn't show it in here, but it does show it here. So your strength, I was looking for the icon to show it. But yeah, your strength is increased to 21. You look at your character sheet, your strength is increased to 21 because you have 21 from Hill Giant's Might down there at the bottom. However, as soon as you get up,
I felt so strong.
it's gone.
Where did that come from?
So, kind of interesting. You attack the stool.
That chair leg could make for a fine weapon.
What's
Okay.
that?
You pass a perception check, and now you can pick up a club of Hill Giant Strength. Okay. And what that does is exactly what it sounds like. You hold it in your offhand, see my strength is now 15. Okay. So it's a good thing if you have a character with strength as a dump stat, you know, like Asterion or somebody like that. The club isn't going to do a whole lot of damage when you're using it. However, it does allow you to have a higher strength to pass some ability checks, and also allows you to jump further or farther. So now in this case, I can keep this kind of in my melee offhand here. And even though I use my bow most of the time, I can have the benefits of that, having that 15 strength just while I'm normally walking around. So now I'm going to put Guiding Light back on because I need to get down to the basement again. Click the button, take off Guiding Light. And now I can go back up here to this level. We have some books that we can search through. Bookshelves, all standard stuff that we're used to seeing. Okay. Then we have some more Tongues of Madness you can pick up if you'd like, but there's no need to. The round flask is something you can sell. Then you have a wooden desk you can search through. Okay, this tells another story here which you can read through. Pretty cool little story, but nothing else that you really need. And then the important thing is the Staff of Arcane Blessing. Oh, we also have a burlap sack we can search. And a bottle rack. Pick up the Staff of Arcane Blessing. We also have a gilded chest back here in the corner. Barks wall. And you can read this diary, but there's nothing in it that I can find. Don't think. Yeah. Okay, so what did we pick up? So let's look at a couple of things. This is going to go over to Gale to sell, along with it. Oh, can't carry it. Okay, so we picked up the Staff of Arcane Blessing. Basically a staff that grants here, move it over. going to Gale anyway. And all right. It allows you to cast Bless as an enchantment spell from the staff itself. So it's an interesting thing for somebody to have. If you cast Bless, it gives you one free cast of Bless. So basically what your best use of it is to actually have it on Shadowheart. If you're going to use her as your person to buff your characters, she would be the one to get the extra usage out of it. But having it on Gale also, if Shadowheart becomes incapacitated, gives you another opportunity to be able to cast Bless by itself. Right now, he's going to be encumbered in carrying it, and I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to move it over here. The other thing I picked up was the Sparks Wall. You're now resistant to lightning damage, and the wearer cannot be electrocuted. Remember, I'm wearing the Water Sparkers, which if you stand in water, you're going to become electrified. Well, this keeps me from being damaged. So now if I get into a fight in some water, I can just stand in it, electrify the water. Everybody else is going to take damage, but I'm not going to take damage. So another interesting, situational type thing for you to have. And that Ring of Poison resistance, then, what I'm going to do is make a couple of changes. I'm going to take Mage's Friend and move it over here. And I'm going to put the Ring of Poison resistance here. And you'll see why, because of something we talked about on that a bit ago. So, okay, so that clears out here. And now I can go up to the metal door. Okay, the metal door takes me down here, comes up here. I'm also now down in the basement here, and there's a lever on the wall you can open up, and now you recognize where we are. We're back down here in the basement where the power supply is, so we can make our way back around and head back up the elevator to get out the front door. So here's the front door. I'm actually a little surprised that there's not a rune circle over here. Maybe I just missed it somewhere, but I've walked around everywhere, and normally they trigger when you're not even close to them. So I'm a little surprised that there's not a rune circle up here somewhere. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go down here, I think, to the beach and make our way back. Okay. And this is the way that you want to take to get back, because remember the way we did up by the spectator, Gale can't make that jump to get back across. So he has to go up and go through the poison. If he's wearing that ring, the ring that we transferred to him, he's resistant to poison damage, which is good. He only takes half damage if he gets poisoned. But otherwise, you can just walk down this way and get down here to the bottom and take the rune circle down here back to the Myconid Colony. Okay, here's the rune circle. Take it back to the Myconid Colony.
How is your more personal research progressing?
Not well.
Okay, now we need to go over here.
From other minds is difficult to predict.
Okay. Now, a couple of things here that you want to do
Worry not, friend.
in preparation for this, and we actually want to be in tab. We want to take this. Actually, I'm not sure. This is on wisdom saving throws. I'm not sure if it's going to work the way I'm thinking about it. I think that's just on wisdom saving throws and not wisdom checks. But we also want to have our guidance pendant on.
Have you spoken with Skris lately?
Yeah, I think that's the way we want to go through this.
Yes, she is cataloging Autonomy fertility rituals.
Okay. You want to have some wisdom to be able to pass some wisdom checks as you go through this. So we're actually going to, since we've gone through all that, we want to save. Okay. Because what we're going to do is we need to complete the quest here about Omelum investigating the parasite.
Something's on my mind.
I greet you, child of the sun. How has your search for the mushrooms fared?
Okay, so if you tell him I found those mushrooms you've been looking for, it's going to trigger it. You can leave right now and prepare your character better to be able to make some wisdom checks. But I think we're ready to do it there. I think there also is an intelligence check or a charisma check.
I have never seen
So
Is my species evolving?
actually remove that, which gives us a -1 to charisma. I don't know if, I wish I knew if this worked or not. Well, we'll just try it and see. We'll just try it and see what happens, because that'll let us know if it's going to work or not.
I greet
See if
you,
it gives
child
us
of the sun.
proficiency in these wisdom
How has
checks or
your
not.
search for the mushrooms fared? These are fine specimens. It will only take me a moment to brew them to proper potency.
Omeluum turns away to prepare the potion, lost in its own musings.
You must drink the entire draft. I can make no promises as to its taste.
Okay, so when you drink this, you're going to get a constitution check.
It will lower the psionic defenses around the lava. If I cannot remove it, I may still be able to tell you more about its origin.
Okay, so I did fail an insight check,
The potion is disgusting beyond
but I did
description.
succeed my constitution
The
check.
mercy is that it goes down quickly.
So I'm not going to take any damage. I'm not going to be poisoned
Not
by
a
it.
drop left. Very good. As the potion influences your mind, you may find yourself acting irrationally. Try and stay focused.
The world loses its edges, its finer boundaries. You are fluid, but trapped like a creature suspended in amber.
Okay, so here's the first of your saving throws. So you can either make a wisdom saving throw or an intelligence saving throw. I obviously want to go for wisdom here as I do this. So my first wisdom check is a DC 10, and I do have wisdom proficiency. That's great. Okay, so now I can add in either a resistance or a bless bonus. Resistance is a cantrip, so I'll throw it in there as well. That's great that I have wisdom proficiency because of the helmet. So you definitely want to be wearing the helmet while you do this. There's also going to be, well, I already failed an insight check, so there is some intelligence, so I was debating whether or not to put on the warped headband of intellect, but this is much better, and you'll see why coming up. Okay, didn't even need it there.
dark holes bite at the edges of your vision. The void cannot draw you in. The tadpole spasms, seizes. It's fighting the potion even harder than you are. Fear pierces your mind like knives of ice. The parasite digs deeper, as if it needs to hollow out your skull.
Okay, so now you have another saving throw to make. So we have wisdom again to make. We can make another wisdom-based saving throw or an intelligence-based. We're going to go again with a wisdom-based saving throw. Okay, but now your DC is up to 15. So we're getting harder to deal with here. And I failed it. Hey, I should have another inspiration here. Perfect.
The cold blades lose their edge. You are stalwart, turning that tide of fear against itself. The parasite swells with power, more power than you have ever felt before. It surges and twists, lashing out against that which would dare to intrude. The parasite in your mind quiets, pleased with itself.
Omeluum, are you well?
That lava is like nothing I have ever observed before. Its power is unsettling. Such an outcome was not in my calculations. There is more to this being than mere stasis. Indeed. Although I may have another solution, albeit a temporary one. I possess a ring of mind shielding. It prevents elder brains from noticing my presence. It will not remove the lava, but it will limit its influence, both positive and negative. I would offer it as a gift, but in truth, the ring is priceless. Is there anything you could offer me in turn?
Okay.
Because removal seemed preferable to negation, and I must admit, I was curious to study the tadpole myself.
Okay, so you can either pay for it. I've never actually tried this. You can just end it here and say, no, I don't want it. Or you can try this option here. How about I tell you about the nautiloid?
A fascinating topic indeed. What can you tell me?
And here is when you need charisma or intelligence. But I can't, it's all one dialogue. You can't exit it and come back to it. So I don't have an opportunity to put my helm on here. So it's just an option of how you're both -1 in both of these. So it's just a matter of what the DC is. The DC of 15 on either one. So you have to get pretty lucky here to get this to work. But we'll try. Wow. Good roll.
What a brilliant experience. To feel one step closer to my ancestors is a fine gift indeed. Here, it is yours. May it serve you as well as it has served me.
That could mean any number of things.
Of course, the lava remains. Be ever vigilant of its growth.
Okay, so you received the Ring of Psionic Protection.
Personal research progressing.
So we'll check our journal and see that we completed that. It also added in here that the potion didn't help us. And that was our 2 journal entries out of this. And now we can look at the Ring of Psionic Protection, which is here. Okay, and I actually have never used this, so because of that, we did gain an additional tadpole ability, and that's the Repulsor ability here. So all nearby creatures and objects in a 6-meter radius take 2d6 force damage and are pushed back 6 meters. So if I put this on, both of those now disappear. So in the playthrough so far, I haven't noticed any negatives to the tadpole yet. But that having that ring might be a good thing to have at some point in the future, as the playthrough progresses. But for right now, I don't see a use for it in the playthrough. But that doesn't mean it's not going to become useful at some point later on. So probably a good thing to keep around. Okay. Now I do need to start clearing out my inventory.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? I do enjoy a good bargain. If anything in my private collection.
Okay, so I am going to get rid of these haste spore flasks. I don't need them. It does give you haste. But I don't think, well, actually I might keep them. Thinking of a couple of different things. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of some of my other basic items here. I'm going to have Gale pick something up while he's here. I'm going to try and clear out some of his heavier items first. Had a bunch of poisons too. There they are. He doesn't need these. Okay, so now let's start clearing out books. Until we run out of money. Okay, good. Get rid of some of these other heavier items. Okay, so now we can just start clearing things out until he runs out of money. Anything else? Okay, so that's good for him. We're going to have Gale buy this greatsword. I'll show you why here in a second. So we're done.
Well.
He's out of money.
I have mushrooms to catalog.
So we're going to head out here.
How much farther can I go?
Talk to Dareth.
We'll be clearing out soon enough. No point in lingering now I've got the noble stock.
We're going to sell the rest of the items here that we have. So Gale can go through the rest of these items. Okay. Again, he's still got that regular greatsword there, which is good. That's what we want. And now these I can send to Gale for him to sell. This is just to maximize your money. I don't normally do this, but just to show you that you're going to get a better deal slightly from selling them from Gale. Okay. And now this great sword is going to send to my ranger to carry for now. I think that sells everything that we need. Take one quick look. Yes, I think that sells everything. And I can sell the dog collar. Don't need it anymore. Because you can only get that steak once. And... yes, that's it. Okay.
That's that then.
So, now I picked up... gotta clean some of these up. Move... oh. Go back over here. And move in his place.
This'll do wonders for the shop.
And nothing. So the helmet of autonomy can go back onto her for now. Get the benefit of the wisdom saving throws. And I can put the Lifebringer back on if I need to get into a conversation where I'm going to have to deal with intelligence. I can put the Warped Headband of Intellect back on. Okay. Here.
Have I got everything then?
I'm going to send these smoke powder bombs. Camp. Okay, so I picked up a greatsword. Why did I do that? Okay, let's go back up here. Go to the rune circle.
I'll give it a shot.
And we're going to head somewhere we haven't been in a while. And that's the Blighted Village. Okay, there's a quest we can now complete. You can see from our map the forge that we found earlier down here, where we found the blueprints for the special weapons and that sort of stuff, is here. And remember, we needed susser bark for that, but we found susser bark here down in the Underdark. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to activate the furnace. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to use the bellows to really crank it up. You can see it's just smoldering, but now you can see flames. It's burning in here, and once you do, then you can click on it. It's going to ask you to put something in it, and you can put susser tree bark in here.
The bark is in place. Now for a great sword, dagger, or sickle.
Okay, and that's exactly what it asks for. So you can put in either a great sword, a dagger, or a sickle in here. So I'm going to put that great sword in there that I bought earlier, wherever it is, right here.
The roaring furnace awaits an offering. A candy-sweet scent wafts forth. The Sousa bark infuses the weapon from within the flames. The flames sputter away. The sword is complete.
Okay, and you can see that completed a quest. And we now have a susser greatsword here, which I am going to immediately send over to Lazelle. And now we'll go look at what this does. Okay, so I guess first of all, we need to make sure that we move Blighted Creation over to here. We don't need Jorvalen to carry it. It's going to be here as a backup weapon. So we have the Greatsword +1 that is the non-fire backup weapon, basically. Which is what this is. The Polar Alluve, I need to actually send that to camp. Now, we have some items that do additional damage to particular types of enemies. So, the Exterminator's Axe is going to be better than the Everburn Blade if we're dealing with plants, insects, or small creatures. The Light of Creation is going to be the best weapon we have if we're dealing with constructs. So, situational weapons to use. The Susser Greatsword, however, is also a Greatsword +1, which is the exact same as this. So you can see they have the same damage. But this Susser Greatsword also silences targets on hit. In other words, they can't use magic if you hit them with it. So this is now our new backup weapon. Move some of this stuff around here. Or we're going to do these here in a second. Okay, good. So that moves it around. So the Greatsword +1 we no longer need. We can sell it because the Susser Greatsword is the exact same backup weapon. It just adds the bonus of being able to silence targets. Okay? So that's why I picked the Greatsword, because it's just a straight upgrade over what I'm currently carrying right now. Okay? So now, just as kind of a... I'm never going to use Coralon's Grace again. So I can send that to the camp. And now let's go to Gale's spellbook and see if he can learn anything else here. Okay, so he's got some spells that he can learn that he can pick up in here. Cool. Let's go ahead and learn these. Can't learn Revivify because it's a level 3. Can't learn Speak with the Dead, but he doesn't need it. So it's going to cost us 800 gold and those scrolls to learn it. Okay, so now we learned all those. So now we can look at his spells to prepare. And see, he's now got quite a spell list here. Choose from. So we're going to probably get rid of Scorching Ray because he already has that. But let's look and see what else we can add in here. Because Misty Step now becomes available to us. Okay, so he does have that spell slot. So Misty Step is a good thing to have available to us. Scorching Ray. Yeah, this is the one that's always prepared because it's part of the ring that he has, or the amulet that he has. One of the two. So let's see what else we want to prepare here. Sleep. I think I want to do Hold Person, but that's another level 2 spell. And I've already got 3 of them, so I really need to utilize another level 1 spell here. See if there's anything in here that want to keep. Ray of Sickness is actually pretty good. I could use Chromatic Orb again. This is the one that's always prepared, again, from that ring or amulet or whatever he's carrying in that allows him to cast magic missiles, so you don't need to worry about that one. Color Spray, there's 2 of these, yeah, because this one's always prepared because of an item. I think Yeah, these are the 3 that are inherent spells that are always there. I may put Chromatic Orb back in this. I would love to actually have Hold Person. But that would give me a 4th. Well, that's probably good because Misty Step is kind of a situational one. So Hold Person is probably a good one to have. Okay. Now if I look at Gale, you can see his prepared spells are a little different, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. So, yeah. It's got some... These are level 1s as well, but he's got Misty Step available to him, which allows him to get out of situations that he might not... Somebody walks up to him, and if he moves, he's going to take an attack of opportunity. Misty Step is going to allow him to not have to deal with.
Let's see what this does.
Okay. And now if we look through our journal, we got another quest completion here. And now everything that we're looking at is all past where we are, or that we can't get to yet, with the exception of one thing. And that's find the Githyanki Creche. We know where the Githyanki Creche is. It's right here. Like I said earlier when we dealt with it, you really shouldn't be dealing with this now. It's kind of a gateway encounter, so that you're leveled up before you get to that point. I may off-stream try it and see how bad it's going to be. If I end up doing it, if I end up deciding to do it, I'm going to probably violate my promise to you guys, in that I'm not going to save and re-roll and that sort of stuff to make the best possible outcomes in this playthrough. Because I'm not supposed to be doing this encounter at the level that I'm at, I might take that as kind of a trade-off. So I may kind of look at the Githyanki Patrol and kind of play with a little bit off stream and see if I can come up with some strategies that will make it easier to do. But if I get defeated in that encounter, then I will just reload and redo it. I won't take each, the fight individually, and if I don't hit, then I reload. I wouldn't be that bad about it. But if I do go through it and things just aren't going the way I need them to go, then I'll just reload it and try it again. But that might be the only reason that we do that, is we have some items that are going to help us in doing that. Specifically, the Wyvern Poison is really, it hits really hard. I also now have invisibility, so I'm able to move around the battlefield as a class action. I do also have invisibility potions and potions of speed, so I can haste my characters to get through it. I do also still have the Iron Flask, so I can let the monster that's within it, I can let it out and help in the fight. Just to break, spoiler alert, there's a spectator in there. If I let it out, the spectator is going to be hostile to everybody, so me included. But it can, if you let it out and then run away, it can help you, help distract them and possibly paralyze them or stuff like that, which will keep them out of the fight. You can take them one at a time. I also have additional potions, like potions of Hill Giant Strength and that sort of stuff, which is going to help increase damage that I can output. And I do have all the additional spells that I picked up here that we just talked about, such as Hold Person and things like that, which can make that fight easier if you manage to get them to land. So I may think about that. I'll kind of toy with it in my head a little bit and kind of see how I want to go about doing it. And if we do it, then we might try it at the start of next stream and just kind of see how it goes. But we'll kind of, I guess, wait and take that as it comes. So if you look at the map, you can see we've got completed quests all over the place. The hidden cache marker I've already picked up. I don't know why it doesn't disappear off the map. The tea house is listed there as a quest location simply because, as we just saw, if you go down to the bottom and then you climb back up through that door, it can take you to the mushroom circle, which takes you to the Underdark, which would get you then to the Grimforge. That's what this is showing you down here, is that this is the way to take you to the Grimforge, to get to where True Soul Near and the Deep Gnome prisoners are. This is the other way to get there through this path we've already looked at. It's blocked off. This is the overland pathway to get you to the Moonrise Towers, the same as this. Spoiler alert, once we get to the Githyanki Patrol, if we beat it, you walk across a bridge and you can't go any farther. The early access stops right there, and it stops right there. But those are the overland ways to get to the Moonrise Towers. We're not going to go overland. We're going to take the underground route to get there through the Underdark. So we don't have to worry about that, but that's why they're listed as quests, because that's the ways that you need to go to get there. But to get into the Underdark, it's through the tea house here, or through the basement through the basement here in Blighted Village, is that right? Trying to remember what the 3 ways to access the Underdark are. Again, it's been so long since we've gone through them. I'll have to think about it. But the way that we're going to end up going is we went into the... Oh yeah, that's the back way into the Underdark, is there through the Goblin Camp. The other one is here through the basement of the tea house or the hag's location. So we're gonna head out this way, but I'm gonna stay up here on the overworld for now because we might start off next week going to the Githyanki Patrol. I'd like to be able to finish that off, clear the quest out, and then, you know, obviously pick up some of the cool items that they have, and then go back to the Myconid Colony, sell off all of those items, and then head to the Underdark Beach and head across the boat to the Grimforge and start off next week's stream doing that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to save where we're at, and we will pick up there next week, and maybe I'll do some off-stream kind of checking to see how well we
What's next, I wonder?
how well we fare against the Githyanki Patrol, and see if I can come up with some ways that'll kind of help me pass it and minimize the amount of reloads that I have to do to get through it. It's certainly possible doing it on the first time. It's just there's a lot of RNG involved because they are just so powerful. So I think on that note, again, everybody who showed up during the stream, can't thank you enough. I certainly appreciate it. You guys are the reason that I do this. I love playing these games, but I wouldn't be streaming any of it if it wasn't to hopefully impart some information to you guys that you guys can use on your own playthroughs. If you're enjoying it, let me know. If you hate it, again, let me know. If you have any constructive criticism for me, I'll read in the comments and respond to you as soon as I can. So on that note, again, everybody, I appreciate your time. And remember, I will see you again next Saturday from 2 to 5 in the United States Central Time. And until then, this is Commander Jorval signing off. Have a good weekend, everybody.